Thank you so much for hiring our team of consultants for the Clark County Library. I'm here at the main branch of the Clark County Library at 1401 East Flamingo Road in Las Vegas, Nevada. This video is a cold walkthrough observation using a 13-point checklist developed by noted librarian educator Ruth Barefoot. Using this walkthrough, we will be able to give you analysis of your library's effectiveness for new users. First, we're going to discuss our approach. On the approach to the library, it is beautiful. The grounds are lovely with rock and some planted trees. We have a nice fixture here as we scan across. We see some brightly lit windows, some lovely columns. It's clean. The parking lot is spacious, and I don't see a speck of dirt anywhere. Doing a very, very nice job taking care of the exterior of your library. We've got some nice signage letting us know that we're at the Clark County Library. We have free to be, seems to be the theme here, free to be fearless, free to be curious. We have some signage indicating that we are a library of the future, a member of the ALA. And then finally, something very nice here, just welcome. Welcome to the library. This is a lovely way to arrive at a library. I feel very confident that I'm going to have a good experience here. So as we walk into the library, we're going to go up these sets of double steps to some automatic doors. We have some ramps for wheelchair access, one to the left, one to the right, so that's excellent. We have some signage indicating that the library will be closed on Saturday. The doors are opening and we're entering. We're entering a vestibule. So now, the second item on our walkthrough is upon entry. Let's see what we have to see. We have a lot of different signage, a lot of different posters, leaflets that we can take, letting us know about things in the community. It's obvious that somebody has been taking good care of these boards. They're not mishmash. They're really well put together. The pamphlets here are all full and stocked. Nothing's running out. We've got some good signage here telling us where things are located and some of the benefits that we can use at the One Stop Career Center. That's lovely. Over here on this side, we also have some placards. A little hard to read. The lighting is not great here right in the entry, so that might be a suggestion. Some better lighting for people who would like to take a look at this signage. Got a picture of the Board of Trustees, and then some regulations for personal property. All right, we're going to keep going into the library where we enter a very open area with a lot of art on the walls. We have an elevator which is well located right inside the entrance. This is going to be great for people with disabilities or mobility issues who may need help going up and down the stairs. That's in a nice spot for them. We have our art on the walls. We have an entry into reader services. We'll check that out in a minute. And this is truly a cold walkthrough. As a member of our consultancy group, I have not been in here before, so everything that I'm seeing, I am reacting to as a new user. So you, the library board, will know how people feel as they're coming in. And right now things feel quite good. So we are continuing to check out the open entryway here. We've got some vending machines for people who might need a snack. And again, a nice big open area. We have another double door entrance into the library. This one is not labeled. The first one said reader services. This second one is not labeled. I might suggest labeling this as one did reader services so that we know, what this entrance is going to do for us. So that's another suggestion there. All right, so let's go ahead. I don't know if it works or not. I don't actually work here. I'm just making a consulting video, but I hope that it works for you. Okay, so we're going to walk in this unlabeled door and find out just exactly where we are. Again, it's a nice wide opening here. We have some automated returns, a couple of different stations, and our holds pickup is clearly labeled and easy to find, so we know exactly what we're going to get here. We have a section of DVDs, and DVDs continue over here with some TV series and quite a bit of DVD storage here. I'm just going to go ahead and move forward and see what we have next. We have theater and restrooms clearly labeled, so signage is quite good. Signage is actually 0.6, but at this point I'm just going to go ahead and sort of start intermingling them and make observations as I see them. The signage is good. We know where we're going and we know how to get where we want to go. We have a teen zone here, which is, defended well by signage, and it looks actually like a nice teen zone with some good colors and some good fixtures. So that's good gear there for teenagers. Let's see, we have some rooms here which appear to be closed. It would be nice, I would think, to go ahead and label what these rooms are so that a new user would understand, what they were seeing and maybe why they couldn't go in there. Some lovely displays of artwork, a teen calendar, and then we have a station here where we can use the library services. I believe this whole area feels like the teen zone. I didn't realize until I was halfway into it that I was in the teen zone. So again, a little more labeling would probably be a good thing for a brand new user. All right. We have a copy room and some areas for employees only. We have our desk right at the front. I'm going to take a left and see. All right, so we have an entrance to the theater and the restroom from this side, which I am in adult fiction. Again, perhaps because of the way I got here, I didn't really know what I was heading into. More signage would be appreciated as a new user. Okay, I'm going to walk down to the end of the stacks, and I'm going to see if there's a way through. There may or may not be, because again, I don't have signage to tell me. Okay, there is a way through. I'll go ahead and cut through here. Something I'm noticing is the aisleways are just barely wide enough for a electric scooter. If someone had mobility issues, they might need a little bit more room than they have. We have desks where people can get work done. I'm canvassing the library in a zigzag pattern at this point. The fixtures are nice. I like the lighting. It's nice and soft. It's not, it doesn't glare. It's not overdone. We have some hubs here where you can plug in your own devices. We do have some signage that indicates perhaps there have been some, issues in the past, but it's, it is what it is. Sometimes we do need to have that stuff. Something that I'm noticing is I don't see any indications of how to access the Wi-Fi. Now, perhaps I simply missed it with the way that I came in, so I'm going to do a little more looking. We have some signs in Spanish, which is great. I believe there's a large Spanish-speaking population here in the Las Vegas area, so that's probably highly appreciated. But I still see no signage around Wi-Fi. So if we wanted to access the library Wi-Fi, how would we do that? Well, I'm not sure at this point. We may need to ask a librarian, but at this point I would not know how to do that. So how to access Wi-Fi could be better communicated. I've seen a couple of different staff members. Again, it's just after 7 o'clock at night. It's not the busiest time of the day. Probably at other times of the day I might see more people, but there doesn't appear to be heavy staff at this time. Children's programming calendar, which makes me ask myself, where is the children's area? It's definitely, I'm thinking like a new customer, and I'm wondering, where is the children's area? I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to continue to look. So now we're going to head down this side of the library. We have a quiet room, which I will just view from the doors so as not to disturb anyone. Nice quiet area. It's large, and we have some flickering fluorescent lights up there on the top, which I believe should be fixed so as to, well, you know, in a quiet, calm room, it's best if the lights don't flicker like that. So that would be an issue with fixtures. Heading down one more pass down the library. Again, I can tell that the books are very well cared for. The shelving looks nice. I'm in the nonfiction section now. So at this point, I would say perhaps one layout challenge, my biggest layout challenge so far, is where is the children's area? I'm entering the computer center, which is well staffed and has quite a number of people using it, so I'll go ahead and keep my voice down. But we have copying and faxing, a print release station, and we just have some fun artwork over here. This is nice. That's fun. I'm not seeing any spaces that I would particularly refer to as outdated. However, these narrower hallways and tight turns required when you get to the ends, I don't think are going to be very conducive to someone with a need for an electric scooter or mobility challenges. You know, I think it would be difficult to maneuver on a knee brace. So that is something I would take into consideration. Trying to perhaps, you know, if these shelves could be just given a little bit more room apart, perhaps we may have to lose a shelf to create some extra room, but that just might be necessary. So let's see. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this part of the tour with some takeaways, and my biggest takeaway is I'm not sure where I need to go for reference. Probably the computer center, but I didn't see obviously like this is the reference desk, this is how you get your questions answered. I saw some customer service, and I saw the computer center, and so I'm wondering between those two, where do I go with my reference questions? I would love to have a little bit more signage specifically calling out reference and how we receive that. I didn't see any spaces, like I said, that I would consider outdated. I think that they're doing an excellent job with what they have here, keeping it open and airy and not trying to overpack it with too much stuff. The colors are nice. They're not, nothing looks dated or ugly. It's a nice space. The signage is mostly good, with a few issues, I would like to see something about how to access Wi-Fi. The fixtures are in general good. I mean, you can't buy new furniture all the time, but what they have here is nice. It's in good repair. It's not falling apart. It doesn't look old or scuffed or dated. So that's a nice job. There are some flickering fluorescent lights, which I would advise fixing those as soon as possible, because a flickering light can really make things seem worse off than they are. And then, of course, the navigation challenges of potentially slightly too narrow between the shelves for people on scooters. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to ask a few questions of librarians. I do not know if anybody is comfortable with being on camera, so that is why I will pause at this moment. Because my biggest issue is I do not have any idea where the children's department is. And that's a gigantic aspect of most libraries. I think that it should be a whole lot easier to find than it has turned out to be. So I'm going to ask a few questions about that of the librarians here, and I will let you know what I find out in a moment. Okay, thank you for joining me again. After a quick conversation with a very helpful librarian, I was told that we have 2 more floors in this library, which, as evidenced by the elevator, I knew that. However, there was no signage that I saw on my way in telling me this library has more than 1 floor. So that's going to be a big recommendation. I think that as soon as customers enter the library, they need to understand that they have choices. We can go straight ahead to adult fiction and the teen zone and the computer lab, or we can go down to reference, that's where reference is, and magazines, or we can go up to the children's area. So I'm going to take you now, again, cold walkthrough, down the stairs that lead to the reference area. We'll do a quick spin through of reference and see what we think. The stairway is nice and clean. And we're going to go ahead and enter through this door where we have newspapers and reference. And a nice quiet area with desks that individuals or groups can use as they're going through their reference materials. It's a nice quiet room. I like it very much. We have some various newspapers here. A room of magazines. Oh, we have another room of magazines this way. Again, this is nicely done with lots of different workspaces. Some comfortable couches. Not a lot of natural light coming in here, which, it would be nice, but we are on a lower level. So the lighting is good here, and I don't see the same flickering problem down here that I did upstairs, so that's good. We have a tech library. And down this hallway is the career center, the call offices, restrooms, payphones, and a theater. So we'll go ahead and walk down here and see what we can see. We have various offices, some of which are labeled, some of which are not, but we have some study rooms. That's very nice. This hallway, I think, could use better lighting, definitely. For an adult learning program. And some pamphlets, public telephones and restrooms. More of the adult learning program, and we have a class in progress over here. Okay. The lower floor definitely seems to be more of a community use area and a reference area. And I think it's dark. This hallway is pretty stark. I would recommend really livening it up. I think different paint colors would be nice, and definitely more lighting. It's a little eerie, actually, this hallway. So, okay. Now we're going to come back out. We're going to head up the stairs to the children's area, and we'll see that area for the first time. And we've already seen the stairs, so I'm going to go ahead and pause as I climb them. Okay, I've reached the landing of the 3rd floor, and I'd like to point out this sign. This is a very helpful sign. It's the first time I've seen it, and I am on the landing of the 3rd floor. I think that something like this should be replicated and used on all levels, and in the very entrance to the library, this needs to be big, and patrons need to be able to know exactly where they need to go for these various services. So this sign needs to appear again and again, especially upon entry. So we're going to walk into the children's area now. We have a lovely space with plants being grown with the bright lights. We have a skeleton, which is super fun. And then a nice bright furniture, clean area. This is a lovely display. We've got some art and some seasonal decorations. And the flow seems good here. You know, we go from our early chapter books to our juvenile fiction to nonfiction to foreign language and series. And we'll go ahead and walk back through where we have computer stations available for use. Clearly labeled checkbook area and children's librarian area. Restrooms, which are easy to find. And then an area for younger children as well. This is where we have our picture books and our very early readers. We have a little table, couple little tables for little people. It might be helpful to have more small furniture for the small children that I'm sure populate this area. But these are fun couches. There's a humming noise in the background, which sounds like there's a soda machine or a water fountain, but there isn't one. I would investigate where that noise is coming from and try and rectify that situation. But again, this is a nice space for kids. It's a little more dated looking, I would say, than things on the 1st floor and the 2nd floor. So perhaps some investment could be made in refreshing this area, getting it just, maybe some fresh coats of paint and these kind of olive drab green shelves. It's an outdated look. I would recommend repainting. That is our tour of the main branch of the Clark County Library here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are going to go ahead and exit now. So I will put you on pause again. You've already seen the stairs. You don't need to see that again. But I would like you to see what it looks like as a patron is exiting the library for the first time. What we think, what we see, what we feel. I'll be right back. I've returned to the main floor of the Clark County Library, and I'm just about to exit. So as you can see, I'm seeing some signage about free events at the library, some children's programming calendar for November, and we have our checkout kiosks there which we could use that are easy to locate. I'm seeing kind of reader services over here for the first time because as I came in, you just didn't notice it on the way in. So that's something that could be highlighted a bit better if you wanted your patrons to see reader services before they actually left the library. I would call that out a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and walk out through the entrance doors here, back out into the large open room with the art. We have signage for free personal Wi-Fi to sign up at the library today, but no information about how to connect to the library's Wi-Fi. So that's definitely something that needs to be taken care of. We'll go ahead and walk out the doors, and when we reach the front steps, I will go ahead and wrap up with some final observations. I think that you have a lot to be proud of here at the Clark County Library. I think you've done an excellent job of keeping it clean and making it fairly easy to navigate, with some definite major exceptions. We need better signage about the various floors of the library, and we need that upon entry. We also need some fixture updates. We need to change, we need to fix those flickering lights. We need more signage about Wi-Fi, and really, I would say signage. That is the biggest issue that I saw. The lower floor, where we did have reference in meeting rooms, it was very dark and dim, and it gave off a bit of a creepy feeling. So I highly recommend brightening that space up with new paint, new lighting, just taking away that feel of dimly lit hallway and turning it into fun space. I will say that the inside of the library does a great job at noise abatement, because outside, I find that we're very near the airport with a lot of planes taking off and landing. So good job, Clark County Library, for making me unaware of how close we were to the airport while I was inside. So again, to sum up, signage, lighting, fixtures, and maybe some new paint upstairs. And I think that you're going to be well on your way to an improved library experience. Even though what you've got going here is already pretty great, those changes would make it that much better. Thank you for your time.